Hello from Gardening at Douentza here in Ireland, and you're very welcome back to my mini-series, My Month of Perennials. Now in this series I take various good garden-worthy plants that I grow here in my garden at Douentza, and I talk about how you might grow them, how they are cared for and why I absolutely love them. And today I have a special treat for you because we are going to talk about Roscoea or hardy gingers, which is this absolutely amazing plant beside me. And this is one that is a complete passion of mine. So you're going to have to excuse me for the enthusiasm that's going to ooze out through the holes in this video. Anyway, let's talk all about Roscoea. Now, Roscoea is in the ginger family, and one of the amazing things about it is that it's actually a hardy ginger. So we all love gingers, but normally we can't grow them. However, you may be able to grow a Roscoea. Now, why I absolutely love them is that they are so unusual and desirable as well. The flowers are very complicated, hooded in appearance, and a lot of them resemble orchids, although Roscoea has absolutely nothing to do with the orchid family. It's just a coincidence. Now, the complex flowers have what seems like petals, but actually they're sterile stamens. And of course there's the foliage. The flowers are held aloft on these pseudostems, and they appear at the top of them, and very often the stems are reddish in colour, but we'll go on to talk about the different types of Roscoea in a minute. And as if all that wasn't enough, some of them have a bit of a Halloween appearance because they actually have fangs. Now, Roscoea is very closely related to the genus, the Coutlea genus, which some of you may know, also a good hardy garden-worthy plant. And they come from the Himalayas, so they're at a higher altitude, and that's why a lot of them are hardy. And the flowers come in a variety of colours. There's white, there's yellow, there's purple, there's even red, and there is also almost black. So there's lots to choose from. So what's the best way to grow this wonderful garden-worthy plant? And the truth is that they like moisture in summer, but they like to be dry in winter. Also, they want a sheltered position, so it's not one that you're going to put in an exposed, windy site. Toleration of sun varies also within the different species, but all of them are going to want some shade at least for part of the day. And Roscoea is hardy. It's good to grow in zones 6 to 9. I guess I'm in zone 9 where I am here, and that would apply to the majority of Roscoeas, certainly the purpurea one and the cotyloides, which we'll talk about in a minute. The only exception might be the one formerly known as red gurkha, which is actually purpurea, but it's the rubra variety, and that one is just that little bit finicky, but the others are all really quite hardy. And because Roscoea is a herbaceous plant, it dies down completely in winter. So in springtime you're going to cut off those dead spikes, just leaving room for the plant to regrow and reflower for you again in summer. And just a little note on how we deadhead these wonderful plants. And as you can see, the flowers come from a central point here at the top of the pseudostems. And as they wither, they kind of look like this one here. So in order to deadhead, what you need to do is just pull out the spent flowers. But what you really mustn't do is cut anything off, because that central point is going to produce a mass more flowers. Now when you take off the old ones, it leaves space for them to come up. But if you cut it off, then, well, you know, that's it. So we really don't want that. Now there are some types that flower early in the summer and some that flower late, like this one here we see beside me. We're now in the middle of August, and as you can see it is in full glorious flower, and what a fantastic spectacle it is too. If you want to propagate these plants, obviously cultivars need to be propagated from division, and you will need to divide carefully in autumn. If you want to grow a species, then you can raise them from seed. It's not that difficult. I've done it with various types in the past. I think I already mentioned that I have a bit of a passion for Roscoea, so that translates in me growing a variety of different species and different cultivars, and I'm not going to bore you by telling you all about all the different ones. What we're focusing on here is good garden worthy plants, and I think you really can't do better than this absolute gem beside me. So this is Roscoea purpurea, and it's the royal purple group, and look at the fantastic clump that I've achieved here in just a couple of years. So it really is a most garden worthy and wonderful plant. And the other one I want to name specifically as well is the species, the Cotyloides species, and that flowers earlier on in the year, usually has yellow flowers, and it really is a no-nonsense plant that if you're lucky is going to seed about, and you're going to have little seedlings coming up all over the place, and it's certainly a very remarkable flower to have at that stage in summer that people are going to ask you about when they come to visit your garden. Well, there's a whole lot more I could actually say about Roscoea, because it really is a plant I have a passion for, and there are lots of nuances and variations that if you get into the hobby and if you get into collecting this plant, that you're going to discover for yourself. But for the moment we've talked about two really good garden worthy plants. A lot of them really are quite garden worthy as well, but these two in particular I point out because they're great for clumping up and just getting on with it, and you don't have to take too much finicky care of them. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you'll check back soon to see more in my series, my month of perennials, and next time we'll talk about a completely different garden worthy plant that I grow here at Douentza, and perhaps I will persuade you to grow as well in your garden wherever you are. Thanks very much for watching. Bye!